It's morphin time. Pterodactyl. Hi there, this is Datila with Rangers of Wrestling, bringing you it's wrestling time Monday Night Raw post show. Okay, so where do we even start for today's show? Today's show was supposed to be, I guess, a go home show to Survivor Series. Yet this Raw didn't do a good job at selling me Survivor Series. So let's start. All right, so Monday Night Raw opened up with a Big E segment. He basically said that this becoming WWE champion, it appears that a lot of people have his eyes on him. And this includes, he says that since it's Thanksgiving, he has plenty to give, including leftovers. And he said that he's supposed to have a champion versus champion match at Survivor Series, but Roman put his hands on his family, and he will beat him and will make sure there's empty beds in a Brooklyn hospital. And then he begins to address Kevin Owens. First of all, in regards to this segment, I have to say, where the hell was Big E the last couple weeks that Roman and the Bloodline attacked the New Day? Like, where the hell has he been? He just stood by and let it happen. And now, on the final Raw before Survivor Series, he wants to address it. Really? Oh my God. Okay. So after this, Kevin Owens comes out, and Kevin Owens says he would love nothing more than to beat the tar out of Big E. But he says that he called him a liar. His integrity was questioned, and he snapped. And how could he not be? Anybody who was called a liar and whose integrity was questioned would snap too. And he says, and everybody that didn't believe him can go to hell. And that he's a liar and a horrible person and a scumbag. That he will be that person. So we got in the chat. We got Michael 101591 says Raw was awful as always. Worst Survivor Series ever. I agree, Michael. I definitely agree. All right. So basically, after this, Big E chases after Owens. And who attacks Big E? Who attacks him? Think long and hard. Who attacks Big E? It's the Usos, none other than the Usos who attack him. Seriously, okay, so an invasion angle is happening. SmackDown is invading Raw. So where exactly was this weeks ago? Like, seriously, where? Where was it? Where I don't understand why this didn't happen like weeks ago. Seriously. Can somebody tell me that why they're just waiting till now to address it? So I don't know. Okay. So this leads to Big E. Oh, and so then Riddle comes to save because, as we all know, the Raw Tag Team Champions are facing the SmackDown Tag Team Champions. So who is it? It's rated RKBro. So Matt Riddle comes out to save Big E, and then you know where this is going. Like, seriously, you know where this is going. We're gonna have ourselves a tag team match now, player. Holla. So this leads to Big E and Matt Riddle versus the Usos. It seriously, it does. This is why I don't watch Raw. Give me 1 second to drop my notebook. So, waste of a match. Yes, definitely, I agree. Waste of a match. Definitely, waste of a match. So, of course, Seth Rollins comes out. And, of course, the match takes place. Big E throws, I believe it was Jimmy Uso, towards Rollins. Rollins got in Big E's face, and then Rollins attacked Big E, causing a DQ. Do you see where I'm going with this, people? And who comes out to save Riddle and Big E? Randy Orton. And then you know where we're going with this. You know where I'm going. Then we get a 6-man tag team match now. Player holla. So we get RKBro and Big E versus the Usos and Seth Rollins. This match, I don't even know where to start with this match. It was an okay match. But, I mean, how does this build? I guess it's supposed to build to a Survivor Series. The Usos and Seth Rollins ended up being victorious. Randy Orton came out in Arcade OJ. And then Big E grabs him and tells his daddy Roman he got the message loud and clear. And he sends a message to Reigns, basically, and then hits Jay with the big ending. Then after this, we get a backstage segment with Bianca Bellaire. And Doudrop, she says that Doudrop made it very clear she wants to be on Team Raw, on the Team Survivor Series women's. And then she keeps dipping her nose in her business. And then Tamina shows up and says that tonight Belair is her business. Michael 101.591 saying it didn't build towards anything. It was just a random match. Definitely agree with you on that, Michael 101. So after this, we get Tamina versus Bianca Belair. No idea why we getting a random match. Would have Steve, it's okay. So this was, it wasn't a squash match per se. I mean, it was a short match, but it didn't do it for me. Of course, Bianca Belair was victorious. Then Doudrop came out and said that it wouldn't be fair to take advantage of this, and that after Survivor Series, she's gonna go looking for Bianca. So when did Doudrop turn heel exactly? Like when? I thought she was a face. What was her whole point of her rivalry with Eva Marie if she was just going to turn heel? Like, I don't get it. So then we get a Veer Mahan promo. Of course, they're building him up to be like some type of monster, but we all know how that works. They build him up as a monster, and then what happens? Nothing happened. He'll run through a couple of jobbers. He'll have squash matches. They'll build him up with this monster, and then nothing. Nothing's gonna happen. He's just gonna be another generic big dude. So then this kind of where things get a little interesting, not too interesting. So we get a Becky Lynch segment. She says that she always finds ways to reinvent herself, and that Charlotte was her best friend. Rear McMahon coming soon to cater. Oh my god. You're funny, Michael. And so Liv Morgan comes on and interrupts her and said that last week Becky walked away from her. And basically ended up calling her big time bitch. So, okay, so this segment, I guess, is supposed to build towards her match with Charlotte and also build towards her feud with Liv Morgan, which I don't know if Liv Morgan is even a legit contender to take the title off of Becky. I mean, they pretty much, Liv Morgan had so much momentum going into Money in the Bank, and what did they do? They took that away from her. She lost her match in the Queen's Crown tournament. So how am I supposed to believe Liv Morgan is a legit contender to Becky Lynch? How? But it is what it is, I guess. So after this, we had the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy. This was an okay match. It wasn't too bad. I like this match. Of course, Montez Ford is always impressive in the ring. At least for me, he is. The Street Profits were victorious. So then after this, we get an Adam Pearce and Rey Mysterio segment. He said that they thought they had Screw Survivor Series Sunday. Well, there's always Impact's Turning Point for you if you want to watch that. Good wrestling this weekend. He basically says that they had a verbal agreement that Dominic would be a part of the team. And he called him, he says that, ese era mi hijo, cabrón. Oh my God, Rey Mysterio dropping that Spanish. Thanks, Danny. He says he kind of questions what kind of man is Adam Pearce. And basically he puts him in a match against Bobby Lashley. So I don't understand why the members of Team Raw, just like how the women of Team SmackDown, are fighting each other. They're supposed to be united to take on the opposite team. I don't understand the logic in all of this. I really don't. You're jumping ahead, Steve. I'm getting there. All right. So then after this, we get he basically told Big E to not get involved in the Rollins and Owens match because he had 2 words from him. Brock Lesnar. He basically threatened him with a suspension. So after this, we had Nikki A.S.h versus Queen Zelina, which, was a short match. Of course, Queen Zelina was victorious, and Carmella tried to get in Rhea's face. And then we had Rhea Ripley versus Carmella. These 2 matches didn't do it for me. The only thing I see going on with this is that Carmella and Queen Zelina are eventually going to challenge for the tag titles. I don't know why Carmella and Zelina are fighting with Rhea and Nikki when they're on the same team. Well, minus Nikki. So I don't get that. I don't. So then after this, we had a Seth Rollins segment. He said he will lead Team Raw to victory, and that leading is what he was born to do, just like how he led the Usos to victory. And that after Survivor Series, he's taking that title from Big E. So we got Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. This was actually a good match. I'm not gonna lie, this was a good match. I liked it, but again, why are the members of Team Raw fighting each other when they should be united to face Team SmackDown? Right? Why? Raw was a 2 out of 5 for me. Dang, Michael. Well, actually, not surprised. Like I said, this was a good match. Surprised Kevin Owens won. Honestly, I am. Thought Finn Balor would win, but I wonder if on Sunday this means Kevin Owens is gonna pull a Big Show and turn on Team Raw since he was so upset that people didn't believe him. So then after this, we had a Styles and AJ Styles segment, and it was basically addressing the Dirty Dawgz. He said they're not in the same food chain, and the Usos should do their job and get rid of the New Day, and to get it off his show. And then quickly corrects himself and says our show, including OJ. I will watch it in the morning. Yeah, that's good, Danny. Like, you're not missing much, that's for sure. So then he makes a reference, I believe, to Loki, and AJ calls himself Iron Man, and also references Godzilla. And then it cuts to the Dirty Dawgz, and basically says they also reference films, and the movie Twins calls Omos Arnold and AJ Styles DeVito. This segment leads into their match. It was AJ Styles and Omos versus Dirty Dawgz. This was basically a squash match. Almost dominated, wiped the floor, I should say, with Bobby Roode and Dolph Ziggler. And another thing that I noticed is that Bobby Roode's music changed, which doesn't, I guess, surprise me in a way because CFO did do Bobby Roode's song, so they can't use it. After this, we get a Lashley segment where he says that Dominic shouldn't have been on Team Raw in the first place, and that after he is done defeating Rey Mysterio, he's going to wipe the floor with Team SmackDown. This leads to the main event, Bobby Lashley versus Rey Mysterio. It is showed to Adam Pearce watching the match. Lashley pretty much dominated Mysterio the whole entire time. Dominic attempted a distraction. Lashley did go shoulder first into the ring post. That wasn't good. And then he threw Rey Mysterio into the ring post. And then he went head first into there were so many hitting of the ring post, of course. And then, of course, Lashley ended up being victorious in this match. And like I said, Adam Pearce was watching backstage. So what does he do? He comes out and takes Rey Mysterio off Team Raw for his own safety and for the benefit of Team Raw, and replaces him with Austin Theory. And that concludes Raw. Honestly, like, oh my God, I don't even know where to start with this Raw. Some matches were okay. Like I said, I really like Finn Balor versus Kevin Owens. The Street Profits versus Alpha Academy was good. Those weren't bad. But I have to look at the overall show. In terms of the build to Survivor Series, this is arguably one of the worst builds ever. It was pretty much non-existent. Got to take that into consideration. The fact that they took Rey Mysterio off the team, at least with some sort of explanation, you know what? I apologize for that. I'm going to have to agree with Michael 101591 here. I'm giving this Raw a 2 out of 5. And that's just me being generous. If you take out the build to Survivor Series and you forget that this Sunday is Survivor Series and this was just been a generic episode of Raw, it would have been okay. I probably would have given it a 2.5. Maybe even a 3. But just with everything, this is supposed to be the go home show to Survivor Series. And what do we get? You get Team Raw infighting within each other. You get the women also fighting in with each other. Worse, it took Big E weeks to respond to Roman Reigns, who after he decimated Woods and Kingston, and yet he's just responding more. Where was this weeks ago? Where? People like, this is why people rag on WWE. I see Steve Callahan says, I might be done with WWE 4 out of 10. Lame series Sunday. Like, I've been watching WWE for years, and this is not the WWE that I grew up in. They had so much they could have done with Survivor Series, but of course they regulated to brand warfare, and they want Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, so they just threw this together. They just threw it together. Like, you know what they could have done? They could have, you remember earlier in the year when they had tension between Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce? You remember that? Because I do. Yeah, you could have had a Team Sonya Deville versus Team Adam Pearce. And the winner takes control of Raw and SmackDown. You could have gone that route. You really could have. And we still don't know who's replacing Sami Zayn or Aaliyah on the Team SmackDown side of things. We don't. We honestly don't. This is the worst build to Survivor Series. And I thought the WrestleMania build was horrible. This tops it. Honestly, it does. And, this Raw did not do a good job at selling me Survivor Series. It did not. It did not do a good job at getting me excited for the show. I don't know how things are going to fare for SmackDown, but I can only hope they do somewhat of a better job than Raw. But no. But that being said, I'm so sorry for ranting. I just had to get that off my chest. But thank you guys all so much for watching and for tuning in. Your support means so much to me. And if you haven't done so, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever I go live or I release a new video. I hope you guys have a great night, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.